Welcome to the Travel Business Unpacked, where passion meets possibility. Here's your host, Meredith Calloway.
Hello, and welcome to the Travel Business Unpacked podcast. I am your host, Meredith Calloway, and today's guest, I have Dianna Hetzel of Mer Bleue.
It's Mer Bleue, really. If we're just
Mer Bleue, just Mer Bleue. I love it.
Apple.
Anyway, welcome to the podcast, Dianna. So excited to have you on today's podcast.
Thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
Yes, absolutely. So, Dianna is another one of our advisors at Gifted Travel Network that has gone through our Travel MBA program. She is officially a Travel MBA alum, and I believe that she went through the Travel MBA program, or started the Travel MBA program during the pandemic. So, another product of the baby of the pandemic, I like to say. And so the very first thing I want to start with, the name of your business is very, very lovely. I think it just oozes, I think, what you're trying to convey. And so I want to first and foremost give my hats off to you on your branding, because it's really, really good. So tell us about this decision to start a travel business, and then, how you came up with the name and how you went through the branding process, because it's really, really good and really, really well done.
Well, thank you. Well, I think that was the part initially that I was maybe most excited about. I loved doing that. I really had fun with that. And I think doing it during the pandemic was a nice time because I feel like I had plenty of time to really sink myself into that and not feel rushed. But how I ended up here is kind of fun. I think it goes back to a book, More Travel is really, I saw something on that, but really always say it's divine intervention.
Mm-hmm.
Because this was not like everybody else. It was a hobby. It was something I loved. I lost my parents when I was fairly young, after my husband and I were married and my kids were little. And I'd always wanted to travel, and my husband was not necessarily on board with all of that. But when I lost my parents and I was struggling, he's like, okay, let's go to Europe. And so that was kind of his way of pulling me out of my little hole. And from that moment on, we never stopped traveling. It just became something we all loved. It was part of who we were, and we saw what it was doing for our children. It's definitely.
What was it doing for your children? I mean, clearly your husband is an angel in disguise, but or maybe not disguise.
Oh, he is.
But that, talk about really having the wisdom to give you the right healer at the time that you needed it. Sounds like travel was very much a healing tool for you to go through the grieving process and just and not really get through it, because you never really get through it, but to be able to process it in a way that you can move forward in life. But I love that about travel, and I think a lot of us understand that, and why we're so passionate about travel. I think we all understand that. But I want to hear, because I love listening to the moms in our program that are like, yep, you kids are coming. I don't care about the 8-hour, 9-hour flight. We'll deal with it. I don't care about the hassles of bringing kids traveling, like you said, because of what you saw it was doing for your kids. So can we unpack that? What was it doing for your kids?
Well, I mean, first of all, I had waited so long before I got to go, and just spent my whole life learning about. So I was a teacher for 14 years. So, learning about everything and seeing everything, and to get to see it myself was incredible. And I wanted my kids to not have that delay in it.
Yeah.
So we did kind of like the Europe Grand Tour. We went for a month and we saw everything from France and Italy. We basically spent the most of our time there. And the kids ultimately, we had spent a year preparing. So I did think of Erica's Book It Box, like on steroids.
Yeah.
It created journals and all kinds of fun things for them to do. And we did activities leading up to it. And then when they were there, I mean, for them to see all this, they had seen pieces in school, but what I really saw was when we came home and I'd pick them up and they'd be like, we learned about this today and I had been there. And it was that way that they had already background knowledge to attach to the learning in school, and it made it so much deeper. So there's that academic side of it, but then there's the connection of the people and the cultures and what that does. And I think that is what touches me the most and has created who my kids are, because they are so comfortable around so many different kinds of people, and they are never out of them. Being out of their comfort zone is their comfort zone. And I'm being in different places.
Love that.
I just came back from Africa, and it was our first time in Africa. And my kids have already started a nonprofit for women in Zambia, and they're shipped their first shipment over for a soccer team that's working on helping the kids not, stay out of poaching. And it's just
oh my God, that's so near to my heart. Oh my gosh, because I know the struggles. Oh my gosh.
And to see them walk around that village and just the way they were and the way they connected with people, and it was so natural and so comfortable, even in a way where I'm more traveled even than they are, and I'm never as comfortable as they are. And I think it's because they traveled from such a young age naturally.
Yeah. And I know that, so just for anybody listening that doesn't understand, in Southern Africa, certain countries like Zambia, Zimbabwe, where there's so much poverty and so much unemployment, it's survival. It's not because they hate animals, but they are getting paid top dollar for elephant trunks and other things, and they just go and they kill an elephant, or they trap. Oh, that's even worse, is the traps that they set. They're so barbaric. And so it's been a real uphill battle for a lot of these nonprofits to encourage. I mean, how do you encourage them to choose, an option to feed your family for a week or two? I mean, it's a real hard. So the fact that your kids got so engaged in that, and now they've already started a nonprofit. I love it.
They're learning. I'm being good hands off. I'm letting them explore this, and it's another learning opportunity for them. How that works.
Yeah. But I totally interrupted you and hijacked your where you were going. So the original question was, how did you make the decision to start the travel business and take that leap of faith? And then I really want to hear the story of the branding.
So truly, if I'm being very honest, the unique thing about me is it was a little less intentional maybe than some people. 15 years in education, I was a worker. Long story, decided not to work for a while, stayed home with my kids from middle school and high school, and got involved in nonprofits and that kind of thing, and had a great time, and was mom and did all that. And then they went off to college, and it was kind of like, whoa, I need something quick. And my husband's solution was to open an insurance agency, which I started to do my insurance. And I'm like, this is so not me. Like, this could be further from who I am. And that is when the book Mer Travel, Divine Intervention, that just kind of passed by on, I believe, Facebook.
Okay.
And I can't remember
if it probably went in 2020, or was it virtual?
It was all virtual.
Oh, so you probably did it in 21 or 22.
I feel like it was 22, probably sound the timeline is right. And like I was like, I can't believe this is a thing. Like, this feels right. Like, this is speaking to me. And so that's kind of how I fell into it. And then initially I was really looking for something to help like me not be like missing my children and, something crazy. But, that's that's where GTN comes in so big and is so near and dear to my heart, because I had maybe loose goals. And I have to be honest, obviously I fell in love with everything through that. But then the smart me was like, okay, I need to check out several agencies because, do my due diligence.
Right.
And what spoke to me most was the business background, because I knew as an educator, I'm creative and I'm a people person. Like I'm not salesy, but if I love something, I could sell anything.
Mm.
So I knew all of that was going to fall.
Your job to make the best travel advisors because, I mean, they're creative, they know how to plan, they're meticulous, they are on top of everything, they tie up all the loose ends.
But we
Yeah.
have no business background. Like the business
Exactly.
that part's rough for me, and I don't like that part. But that was such a strong piece. And GTN helped me look at this and go, you know what? This isn't just something to make me not go crazy with the kids gone. This is something that can be like a great business for me, and the whole entrepreneurship and building something of my own. It all spoke to me. So I was thrilled with the investment I had to put in because I felt like that held my feet to the fire. And so that was kind of how I got into it. And from there, I mean, from day one, when I drank that Kool-Aid, man, I drank it. I'm still every day and I love it. And that was kind of how I fell into it.
I love that story because it is why we were doing the Book More Travel workshop for so many years and why we continue to do what we do on the membership development side is just raising an awareness of the opportunity, because there are so many easy, quick, low barrier to entry options to becoming a travel agent these days. And some of the, promotions and marketing are really slick, really well done. And I always say, starting a travel business or becoming a travel agent is the easy part, but building a 7-figure thriving business is a whole nother story. And you found the path to that one. You didn't fall for the slick marketing, which is very, it can be effective, but look, I've been that person. I have followed that path without any kind of guidance, and it took me, and I struggled. I was that accidental hobbyist for 5 years until I had to figure out. And one of the most important things I had to do was embrace entrepreneurship and really face the inner demons that I didn't even know I had. I didn't even know I had a scarcity mindset. I didn't even know I had these feelings of unworthiness and doubt, massive doubt in self. So those are all parts of our program is developing entrepreneurial habits, like establishing financial goals and tracking them and understanding what your yield is and leaning into luxury, not because it's fun, but really it's the most viable path to, truly monetizing the business. But I also love your story because you're a teacher, and I think, and you raised your kids and they, went off to college, and there's that empty nester syndrome. And I love that you found something for you, that you're building for yourself, that's fulfilling for you. So all of that is amazing. Before we get to the name, on your about, of your website, I love everything about your website. I love whoever wrote the copy did a really, really good job. Really good writing. But you talk about how, and you knew that you were probably destined for this profession when you planned a trip for yourself and your family. And I guess it was that trip that you're just talking about. Yeah. And that's also what we find more common is the person who, wants to do a destination wedding and goes and hires a travel advisor and ends up like micromanaging their travel advisor and thinking. So if anybody is listening and they're in a situation where they were very disappointed with, hiring a travel advisor who did not do a good job, maybe this is the career path for you. Is that really when you started to think like, this could be something I could do, or did it not occur to you until later?
Honestly, at that moment, it really didn't, because I'm the girl, like my idol when I was younger was Martha Stewart. Like, I want to do everything. I can do everything. I want to do it all myself. Like, I don't want to hire anyone. I'm going to arrange the flowers. I'm going to have a compulsion like that.
Yeah.
So it's a blessing and a curse. But so I'm the one who would never think to hire a travel advisor. But of course I did when it was my trip to Africa. I've learned to appreciate what it's like to travel when somebody else handles everything. But so no, I didn't realize it at that time. At that point, it was just something I was good at and I was going to do for other people because I enjoy doing it, and then I enjoy sharing about it with other people because that's a fun part too. Like when you do something, you experience something, sharing that with other people is exciting.
But that was a real big hint. And, it's too late now, but for those listening, that was a real big hint, is that I like how you described it. I want to be Martha Stewart at everything I do. I want to do everything. I would never hire a travel agent because I don't think they would do as good of a job as I would do. If you have that mentality, this might be a career path for you. All right. So now let's talk about the name.
Well, I was a little all over with the name. I knew that my happy spot. So that first trip, the parts of the trip that stood out to me were Provence and the coast of Italy. So my family is from near Sorrento.
Mm-hmm.
And so that trip was very healing. It was very powerful. I had felt disconnected from my mom after I lost her, and I kind of refelt that connection there through, exploring the areas that my family's from. And so I've always just loved that area. And through all our travels, we always kind of go back there. My children have studied French their whole life. And so every time we travel through France. Because when we travel in Europe and we go to a different area of France and stay for a long time in a very small area and deep dive. And that gave them the ability to speak French and really practice that. Because ironically, with my name being French, I am the worst. I have zero. I can do it, but like the French are like, stop, please. But luckily my kids are fabulous at it. But that was a big piece of where the French overtook the Italian side of it. But I knew the water, I live by the water. The water is something I'm deeply connected to. It's healing and soulful to me. So it kind of came from all that. And then I wanted it to have that luxury feel. I love all things pretty. Making everything pretty is important to me. And that was something that was kind of important as I developed this. I'm the girl that likes, you can give me a $10 gift in $20 packaging because I love like the pretty package. And that's how I wanted this whole thing to be.
Yeah.
Travel is fun, but the excitement leading up to it and the planning and everything around it, I like to make that heart pretty too.
Yeah.
So I wanted the packaging to feel like something when they've got notes from me or packaging from me, that it all feels very pretty.
Very pretty. And it helps amplify that excitement around investing in you and investing in travel. It should be cherished. It should feel special. It should feel precious. And so I love that. Who doesn't want their travel to be planned by someone who wants everything to be pretty and in a beautiful package?
I have a lot of different clients, and it's funny because I have a lot of clients who are gentlemen, for whatever reason, who are very busy. And I don't know if they focus on that part as much, but they definitely don't mind. And I know wives, when they see it and get the extra parts, they do appreciate it. So
We appreciate it. I think they wouldn't be the primarily male clients that I think they do. It's just more subtle that they notice it, right? It's more of an essence that they feel, and that's why they with you. I do remember back in the day that I'll be honest, I far preferred working with men. I love getting male clients because, especially since when I first started, I had just moved from working on a trading desk with traders all day long. And, they were having to make decisions all the time, really fast, like pick up the phone, call someone, be like, I got, 5 million of such and such. Do you want to buy it? This is the price. Yes or no?
they're very much like, this is what I want. This is what I
Yeah.
like. Make it happen. We're
Yeah.
done.
And you call them back when you've got an itinerary and they're like, yep, that sounds good. Let's do it. Let's go.
Sometimes they need to like, because she has stronger opinions.
Yes. Oh, yes. Absolutely. So I want to talk a little bit about mindset. So one of the things that I say all the time is that when you take, and I learned this very early in my entrepreneurial journey, when you take the entrepreneurial journey, you're going to be stepping outside of your comfort zone so much more than in your whatever career you were, unless you were an entrepreneur. But you're trying to sell luxury travel, so you have to put yourself out there. And when you put yourself out there, it's going to feel uncomfortable. And the beauty, I think, is that it brings to the surface all of the doubts, all of the fears, all of the stories, even, and programming, scarcity mindset programming that is kind of hidden. You're not really aware of it until you bump into something and you go to take action and you're paralyzed because maybe you don't believe in yourself. Maybe you don't think it's worth an investment. Do you want to talk about how that showed up for you? Was it scarcity mindset that showed up for you? Was it doubt, self-doubt? Was it?
How would I think all of it.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely all of it. I mean, I just got off a call right before this where I'm constantly told I should be charging more, which is like, I mean, it's nice that they recognize that, but horrible that I put myself in that situation. Um, I still really struggle with that one because the last thing I want to ever be is a barrier for somebody to not get to do it. And I think the teacher in me, that's kind of like the bad
Everyone
part.
have access to this, right?
I don't think I never have a problem thinking whether or not I'm worth it because I know how hard I work and I know what I do and I'm relentless in making the trip perfect, but it's definitely more of a sometimes undervaluing that. Even though I know I'm worth it, I'm not necessarily valuing.
It's more of like a sacrifice. You want to personally sacrifice what you would normally charge so that there are people that, are really stretching.
Right. And it's hard to tell if that's that client ahead of time, and regardless, it's very hard for me to be black and white. And that's something that's very important in entrepreneurship, that you are black and white, because I have learned to look at my numbers and to look at the bottom line. And I do want this to be a very profitable business. At the same time, I want people to get to travel. So it's finding that balance and making it something that's sustainable. And I giving up my time with my family and things, that I could be doing. So you deserve compensation for that. And it's kind of finding that is not always easy. That I would say that's been without a doubt my biggest struggle.
Yeah. Yeah. And also I know sometimes scarcity mindset shows up not necessarily in you, like the entrepreneur not wanting to invest in something. Sometimes it shows up in feeling bad that you're making so much commission on something. It's like self-sabotage. It shows up in this weird self-sabotage way of like, I shouldn't make that much.
I feel like I shouldn't. I feel like I should. I don't know how to explain where it comes from, but
Okay.
I know that I think sometimes I worry what they're thinking. I don't
Yes.
want anyone to feel that I'm ever taking advantage of them. And
Right.
it's ironic because I am not one of those. You'd think that comes from a place of somebody who is like, well, I wouldn't pay that. Like, I am not that girl. Like, I value people's time. I value their energy. And if I am wanting a service, I'm paying for it. And if you undercut yourself, I'll pay more. I
Right.
won't let you undercut yourself. So it's ironic that I'm so quick to allow myself.
Yeah.
I've always said that, there's lots of ways when you're hiring somebody else and you're breaking into that next step and what you're going to do, I need somebody not to help me with any of the other things that normal people need. I need them to manage me and make sure I'm doing the right things from the business standpoint, not letting me undersell myself, not letting me sell anything short.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah. So let's talk about where you're going. Do you have a vision for where you want to go with the business? Do you have some of a vision, a very, very clear vision? Tell us about and what your structure looks like when you get to your final destination. Do you want a big team? Do you want to stay as a solopreneur? What kind of goals do you set for yourself?
So I do want a team, and I want a team because that's just who I am. Like, not having anyone to
That's the
bounce.
right reason to want a team.
Yeah, I mean that I just thrive off being with other people. So luckily, I mean, I have a group that I'm very close with since the very beginning, and we bounce all our ideas off each other, and we meet regularly, and without that, I don't think I would have made it on my own. But I want one that's kind of building our brand, our
Yes.
small little, So I would love to have a few people also because I have areas that I'm super interested in, but I have repeat clients which is my goal because I love that. But I'm
Yeah.
not really an expertise in the Caribbean, and I live in Florida, and that's a big thing. So I would love to have maybe somebody, some people that really have an area that they're into. So
Yeah.
that is a goal. That is something I'm literally working on. And I didn't rebrand. I mildly rebranded. I tweaked my brand a little bit recently, and I have a new website that's being worked on. I'm diving deep into SEO, and really I love the wording on my website too, but it's beautiful, but it's not working in the background. Mhm. So we've really worked hard to keep my message, nail my message, but do it in a way that on the back end works as well.
Love that.
Clients all over, and I want to keep that. However I'm getting the people I'm getting, they're great. I love my clients. I have the best clients.
Oh, that's the best. Like, that is such a success when you say that.
Yes.
I have the best.
I think because I've had a few that have just been so great, and then they've shared people, and their things are like them, and that is my joy in life.
The momentum really kicks in. Is you build the right brand with the right messaging, and it may not be working on the back end, but it's working with the clients, and it just plays off of each other, and you get a couple of really good clients, and then they start referring you, and you don't have to spend so much time and focus on the marketing. Like, it does ease up after the first foundation is established. Well, I love that vision. I think it's amazing. I think at GTN, we like to support multiple paths. And so building a team is one fantastic path, but I completely agree with you. you have to build a team for the right reason. And if you like the training, if you like being with people and you're very team oriented, that's the right reason to build a team. Another good reason, which is much more practical, is, as you said, you're very focused on Europe. And so bringing in more expertise is going to really help your clients ultimately down the road. But I love that clarity that you have, but also I think it's a great decision for you because from my perspective, one of the things that I see in you is a true brilliance with the branding. And so you keep doing that. You keep focusing on evolving the brand so that you can bring on people who don't have that brilliance and they just want to step in and they want to sell, but they don't have that knack, that critical eye for what makes for a good brand.
And that's the hardest part, is letting go of a little bit and giving that piece that initially brought me to this. My original passion was in the planning trips, and that was what I wanted to do. And it was funny because as it all evolved, the entrepreneurship side of it all became the thing that I actually loved. And I love building relationships with partners and the clients and marketing and doing all of that. And so at some point, you just can't do all of that at the same time. And that's clearly where I am. But I'm one of those people that everything has to be perfect. You have a way of describing this.
Paralysis?
Yeah. So, I mean, a long time ago, at one point, you had told me, like, because I was the girl that was not going to sell travel until I graduated from Travel MBA. Like, my website, everything had to be perfect. Like, I had to be kicked out to, like, start doing something. That's kind of where I am with the hiring. But this time, like, I know I'm doing it, but I'm like, all my SOPs have to be perfect. I have to have ClickUp with everything built out perfectly. And because I don't want to take anybody on without everything being right. So
ready, fire, aim is
at some point
you're learning how to move from ready, aim, fire into ready, fire, aim.
I'm aiming. I'm
doing
very aiming.
At least you're doing it. You know, that's what it doesn't matter if that's a weakness or if you're it's amazing that you actually understand that and see it and are doing it anyway. You know,
well, it'd be nice if knowing that was changing me. But it's not at the moment, but that's okay.
Well, yes, I think just a little bit of patience. You'll get
The
there.
whole process of all of it is so much fun. And that's what I would tell somebody thinking about it, is that I'm a big person, like, the journey is everything. We're also destination focused, and I'm very aware of my journey in all parts of my life. And this has been such a journey for me, and it's taught me so much about myself, and it probably the perfect time. And I think it's a really, really cool thing for me and for someone else.
It's definitely a cool thing for you. I can't, it just, to me, there's so much alignment with this path that you've chosen for yourself. And I really do see you building an empire, you know, and this beautiful brand and having a team of people, just, you know, having a great life selling travel under this gorgeous brand and all doing really good work. I want to switch to your background in education. Can you tell me, we all bring with us like wisdom, different perspectives into this entrepreneurial journey and into the profession. What do you think being in education and being a teacher has taught you that's worked in your favor in entrepreneurship?
I think it's just my deep connection to people. I really, really see people and bond with people easily. And by really seeing the person and what they need, I'm able to use that to create something very special for them that really, really solves their problem, gives them what they need. And I think that doesn't necessarily help me entrepreneurially, but it helps me within this particular business do what I need to do. And even if I take that, pass that on as just a bit while somebody else does it, it grows every day, the ability to take that and put it into something. And even if I pass that on for someone else to then, that connection's there.
Yep. Yep. I'm curious, do you have any people on the team yet? Is it just you? Do you have an assistant? What does that look like?
It is just me at the moment. My daughter came on for a while and she still does help a little bit. She came on while she was in college. And I had hoped that was going to be a thing, but she's very design oriented and she wants to go take that a little further. But so I learned a lot from just having that experience for a while. I really need to make sure that I'm looking for somebody who's got the opposite skill set as opposed to the exact same. And my daughter is the same person. And so I think that would have worked if we had another person in that offset us, just the two of us together.
Many you yet. Maybe it's just a ton of
same things.
That is something I learned years ago from a business coach, and I still remember it today because it was so helpful and powerful, is that like when it's time to hire, there's only two different types of people you should want to hire in any hiring decision. The first type of person is a mini you, and the second type of person is what you just said, the opposite. Someone who complements your skill set, like complete other end of the spectrum. If you're very into design and the creation and ideas like I am, the opposite is the process oriented, detail oriented, like
make sure my ideas don't just keep getting generated.
Forward. Let's make a plan. Let's create a step list.
Yes.
And let's check it off. Let's not forget about it. Let's follow through.
We just did an accelerate program, which if anyone's out there, that's one of, how would we describe that? Part of our GTM program that we're in. And it's kind of, there's mentorship, there's education, and we had the, what is that called? The numbers where you're like a 7, a 3, a 4.
Oh, the Enneagram.
Yes. So we just did that and that was fun. So now I know my opposite Enneagrams that I'm looking for.
I asked Kristen if the woman who came to speak on that call, we should do a survey of all of the network.
Oh, that's a good idea. That'd be fun.
Find some common Enneagram numbers in travel planners. Yeah, I really do.
I definitely think we fall into some groups.
I think so. I think there's definitely the 2s, which is the helpers. And then there's probably, anyway, that's a whole nother tangent. I want to dig deep into, so you tried to hire your daughter. It didn't work out, but I actually see that as a success. Because I think it's very, very common for entrepreneurs to, start something and then want to bring their kids into it. I really wish my kids had a little bit more interest in the businesses I've built. But they don't. And, that's okay too, right? Because there's going to be a better person that comes along and it's not easy. There is a lot of strain on the relationship when you do mix business with personal. So, I don't think it's a bad thing at all. I love that you brought it up because I think everyone needs to be realistic about it if they're thinking about it. It may not work. And if it doesn't work, that's not a failure at all. It's just,
I learned a lot from it.
Mm-hmm.
She learned a lot from it. So it pushes us both in different directions, and we had some takeaways that we could work with. And she still is able to take pieces of things that she enjoys and she does them on more of a, little contract type
Yeah.
situation. Like, okay, this is what we agree for this.
So, my favorite question to ask, which I think you probably have been clued into this by now, is can you share about pinch me, oh my gosh, I can't believe I get to do this for a living moment or experience that you've had because you've taken this journey of travel entrepreneurship that you would never have had if you hadn't taken this journey?
Oh, that definitely is going to be, I did a noteworthy FAM
Ooh,
very early on.
okay.
I was very lucky. One of the other things I love about GTN is the opportunities that I have been given to experience different destinations and tours and just amazing partners. This one was so cool for so many reasons. One, we did incredible things from the rooftops of castles to this is silly, but I love hotels. Like, I am a total hotel geek. And
Yeah.
we got to hang out in the presidential suite at the Savoy.
Oh my gosh.
So
Wait, Noteworthy is one of our DMCs for England, the UK. And they are very, like, they just have incredible connections and relationships and access. They are absolutely one of those DMCs that will open doors that nobody else can open. So just to give
100%.
everybody some context. So
We stayed
Carrie,
at fabulous places and we did unbelievable things. And it was such a great time, like perfect timing to really show me the power of luxury. And
yeah,
in addition to just the things we experienced and saw, I was with amazing other GTN advisors and I learned so much from them. It
yeah,
was a great opportunity to really, be around some very experienced veteran advisors who, again, just double learning by being there, learning by talking to the suppliers, and learning from these advisors who had so much to offer. And I really was a baby at that point,
yeah.
didn't even know what I didn't know. And so I left there so excited and just so the possibilities were
Mhm.
endless. I was
Yeah. Did you have any reluctance or hesitation about selling luxury to that level luxury, before you had an experience with someone like Noteworthy?
I don't know if I had hesitation so much as that I had what would be sometimes you don't know what you don't know. I mean, I
Yeah.
did travel well. So I will say also IC Bellagio is who that's probably the first time I knew that a travel advisor existed. I traveled with IC Bellagio.
I see Bellagio is a DMC for Italy, very high-end luxury DMC for Italy. Carry on.
So after that, as just a regular person and talking with Andrea over pizza at her house, this amazing experience and meeting her father-in-law and him teaching my daughter Italian in the garden. It was so awesome. So that was kind of when I realized, oh, there are these other kinds of experiences that all happened very offhand. I was lucky that I experienced that without a travel advisor. And
Yeah.
so through that, I kind of learned what everything was too. That came back and matched up with you guys and the whole thing. I was like, oh, this is a thing. And now I remember that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's
Luxury, luxury is so many things. Luxury is
some
incredible properties and expensive things. It's access to unique experiences that make you stand and learn about a destination in a very authentic way.
it's being able to create ungoogleable experiences for people. And
You
I
can do that too, though, at a great hotel.
think right. Yeah. Exactly. I think it's one of the most misunderstood aspects of planning luxury travel for people who, look at that and think, oh, that would be a great career for me. I would be so good at that. It is so important to have the right partnerships and access to these things for your so that access to someone like Noteworthy when your clients are going to London. In fact, I'm going to London in a month, and we are using Noteworthy and I was like drooling when they sent me the itinerary. I'm just so excited. I lived in London. I know London. I should be able to play tour guide for my family, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to experience it this way. And one of the things that we're doing, this is so perfect example, what Noteworthy does is we're doing a tour of the Churchill War Rooms, which is very, very popular, amazing museum. But we're going into a room that almost no one has access to. Like we're getting to go behind the glass, and we're getting a private tour by someone who works for the museum, and and we're getting behind the velvet rope type experiences. And two of my sons I have two. They are huge history buffs, so they're going to just be
going to bring it alive rather than just be given information. You're going to experience the war room. Be part
and see parts of the museum that nobody else gets to see. That very, very rare. Specifically, the room that Churchill truly ran the very end of the war from. So anyway, I agree with you, and I think that it's it's an ecosystem, right? You travel and planning travel is you have to have travel planners, but in order for a travel planner to do their job really, really well, they have to have the right partnerships. And it's a role that we play as a host agency that is so hard to articulate. But it's incredibly valuable, and it's a game changer if you do it right for the people that you're hosting, at least from my perspective.
immensely invaluable. A big part of my website is sharing that, because I want people to understand that my connections are their connections. And for me, my connections are because of GTN and Virtuoso.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. You have to be partnered with someone who's in the luxury game. You will not be able to pull off what you can pull off.
Because again, you only know what you know. And so if it's not out there, if it's not listed anywhere, you don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
And they'll dream it up. You dream it up and they'll create it.
For sure. That's also...
We're never limited to something that's just out there already.
You're never limited. And I think it's hard for people to sometimes know what they want when they don't have a menu. But that's the other truth about working with a true luxury provider, is that they might show you a menu of options, but every single thing that they show you can be customized.
Yep.
And
that's where we come in. We're here to help you figure out what it is that you want by getting to know you.
Exactly. Okay, we are over our time. So I know that went by so fast. But how do people get a hold of you if they are interested in having the Martha Stewart of travel plan their travel?
Oh, my young me loves that. merbluetravel.com, and it's the French spelling of blue, or Dianna at merbluetravel.com.
Thanks for listening to the Travel Business Unpacked podcast, where we dive deep into the exciting world of travel entrepreneurship. If you're looking for more, we have some great resources for both aspiring travel entrepreneurs and existing travel advisors. Aspiring travel entrepreneurs, if you're thinking about turning your love for travel into a profitable business and enviable life, take our Travel Entrepreneurial Suitability Score quiz. It's fun and insightful. Just go to travelmba.giftedtravelnetwork.com. Find out if you're ready to professionalize your passion for travel. Current travel advisors, if you've been selling travel but haven't been able to grow your sales beyond $200,000 in a 12-month window of time, our quiz can help there too. Again, you can find that at travelmba.giftedtravelnetwork.com. Advisors looking for a change. If you're seeking an elevated hosting experience for the luxury travel advisor, check us out at giftedtravelnetwork.com. We'd love to chat with you. And with that, we wrap up today's journey. We hope we inspired you today, or at a minimum, put a smile on your face.